So I understand how scary investing in the stock market could be. The fear of losing your money can make anyone hesitant about where they stash their cash. But the question you want to ask yourself is then, why are so many wealthy people investing in the stock market? Like what do they know? Well, for one, they understand that the benefits of investing in the stock market far exceeds the risk, and especially when given the proper education. So that's why in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 benefits of investing in the stock market. And so if you're already investing, then hopefully this video can give you a spark and get you started. So let's first start off with the first benefit, which is ownership in companies, right? So if you're someone that's looking to build wealth, then you're gonna have a different mindset, right? You're gonna have an ownership mindset, right? Far too many times we have this mindset where we consume things, right? And if you're someone that's looking to build wealth, you're gonna have to shift that mindset to own more and consume less, right? And the stock market allows you to do that, right? It allows you to get a piece of that company, right? And sharing the benefits of that company, whether that company's making money, growing as a company, you get to get a piece of that company and benefit from their success. And that's what we should all be doing. We should be focusing on that, trying to get a piece of these companies. And the great thing about the stock market is you don't need a lot of capital to do it, right? Like if you were to start your company, or if you wanted a piece of some equity in the business, you would have to spend thousands, millions of dollars to get some equity in that company. But with the stock market, it allows you to get a piece of that company at a fraction of the cost, right? You can start off with as little as $5 if you want to do that, right? All you have to do is like open up a brokerage account, and you can get a piece of that company, with $5. Now, obviously, that's not a lot of. That's $5 is not a lot of money. It's not going to allow you to make decisions in that company, but it's a start, right? It helps you develop that habit of ownership, right? Taking that money, instead of like using that money to like buy things that won't provide you any benefit, you can use that money to get a piece of the company where you can build wealth long term, right? So we have to start having that mindset where instead of consuming, we have to consume less and start owning more. And the stock market is a great way to do that. So the next benefit is generating income, right? And because let's be honest, like you can't just rely on your active income, and that active income obviously is your 9-to-5 job, right? Like obviously you work that 9-to-5 job, you get a paycheck, and obviously you pay your bills with that. But let's be real, we're all getting older, right? We're gonna get to a point where we're too old to work, and you don't want to have to just rely on that active income, because obviously when you're old, you're just gonna be a little bit too tired. So you have to find ways to create multiple streams of income, whether that's investing in real estate, starting a business where people working for you, or like I said, investing in a stock market. And you have to find a way to make your money work for you. You can't just rely on working for the rest of your life and relying on your energy to make that income. And the great thing about the stock market is it allows you to do that, generate income using dividends. And for those that don't know what a dividend is, basically a stock sharing their profits, right? They have profits, like every company makes profits, and what some companies do, some more than others, they'll take that profit and they'll share that with their shareholders, their stockholders. And depending on the company, some are higher than others. Some, the percentages, some will share like 1%, some will share like 8%, depending on the company. But the thing with these investing in the stock market, it allows you to generate income just by investing with these companies, and they share those profits with you. So stock market allows you to even generate income, and that's just one source of income among others. So you have to find ways to create multiple streams of income and not just rely on one income, because we all see how scary that can be, right? If you're someone that has a job, you get laid off, there's a pandemic, and you lose that job, your majority income is gone. So you have to find ways to create multiple streams of income, whether that's, like I said, through real estate, your job, a business, or like I said, in stocks. So stocks do that. Investing in the stock market does that, and it's a great way to just create income where your money is working for you instead of you having to work for the money. So the third benefit is tax advantages, right? So if you're someone that's just relying on Social Security to get you the rest of your life, then that's not the smartest thing to do, right? It's gonna be a lose situation, right? For one, we're not even sure if Social Security will be there by the time we're ready to retire, right? And two, it's not something that's supposed to get you through the rest of your life, right? It's supposed to be a supplement to your retirement. So you need to find a way to also fund your retirement, and stock market is a good way to do that. Because I look at investing in the stock market as that, like I invest in the stock market not just only to build wealth, but I also want to make sure I'm funding my retirement. I want to find a way to make sure, like when I'm ready to retire and I can't work anymore, I want to have a nest egg where I can use that money to get through the rest of my life. And investing in the stock market is a great way to do that. So there's just so many tax advantages to obviously invest in the stock market. And of course, I'm not a tax accountant, so obviously if you need any advice when it comes to your taxes, you want to make sure you talk to a tax account, right? Just don't listen to some random dude on YouTube. But just understand that there are some tax advantages to investing in the stock market, especially if you're depending on if you hold this short term or long term. But definitely, if you want to learn more, talk to your closest tax account. So the next benefit is hedge against inflation. Like if you're someone that obviously has a job, right, and your money's going straight to your bank account, you're just leaving it there, then you're losing, the value of your money is going down every year, right? Why? Because of this thing called inflation, right? And depending on depending on where we're at, I think right now we're at 3.5%. But obviously, like a year ago, we were as high as 6-7%. So that's basically your money decreasing by 6-7% every year. So you have to find a way to combat that, right? You got to find a way to make sure that your money's at the very least keeping up with inflation, and especially with your bank, because banks pay nothing, right? They pay like 0% interest, right? So if you're just leaving your money in that bank account, then your money's just losing value. And it's hard to see that, because obviously when you look at your bank account, you got $1,000 in there, boom, you see $1,000, and every day next year, if you left it a year, you still see $1,000. So you don't really see it decreasing in value, because it still shows that number. But what you don't see is that hidden cost, which is inflation, like the prices of goods and services increasing, right, which is bringing down the value of that dollar. So even though your bank account still say $1,000, the power that $1,000 has to purchase goods and services has decreased, right? And these are the things that you don't see. So you have to find a way to combat that, and the stock market is a great way to do that, right? Especially like if you're investing in something like an ETF, which is the S&P 500, then and that's usually you get a good return on that, like 9 to 10% every year. So at the very least, that's more than what inflation is, right? So you want to make sure you're at the very least keeping up with inflation, or not making more, to make sure your dollar's not losing value over time. And the stock market is a great way to do that. And the good thing about the stock market is, like, as prices of goods and services increases, like companies are able to increase revenue and profits, which is going to lead to higher stock prices, right? And then higher stock prices is good for you, because you get the benefit from that, especially if you own those stocks. So you want to make sure that you invest in stocks and things that are a hedge against inflation, because every year your dollar's eroding, especially the way we see the government, the way they spend money. So you want to make sure you at least have something to combat that. Now, finally, right, the final benefit is wealth building, right? If you're looking to build wealth over time, like I said before, investing long-term into stocks is the way to go, right? It's the best way to do that, especially because of compound interest, right? And earlier I mentioned about dividend, dividend incomes that gets paid out like every quarter, usually depending on the company. But if you take those, if you reinvest those dividends, right, right back into your investment account, all that is compounding every year, right? And if you understand compound interest, man, like it's just making money on top of money. And over time, maybe like in the first couple of years, you don't really see it as much, but you give it 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you'll see how much that money compounds over year. And that's the power of making sure that you're investing in the stock market. You want that money to compound. You want to make sure you're constantly, consistently investing in the stock market. You want to see that money growing every year. And compound interest is a very powerful tool and for a way to build wealth. So like stock market is one of the best ways to do that, on top of other methods. But investing in the stock market is something that everyone has access to. You don't need a lot of money to do it, and you can develop that habit. Just get started with as little as $5. So even though if you don't have a lot of money, still get started, right? And then as you consistently build, consistently make more money, then you can invest more money. So it's important just to get started. So, and stocks are a great way to do that, right? So that's all I got for you guys today. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave it down below. Hit the like button and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, right? So you guys take care and have a good one. Later.